First and foremost, the taxi has to be accessible.
When I order a taxi, I always make sure that I say I'm an electric-powered wheelchair user. I'm not a wheelchair user that can transfer into a saloon car. Some people can transfer into a saloon car, I cannot. My wheelchair and I are together. One size does not fit all.
In terms of the physical design of taxis, not all of them are suitable for me particularly. Whilst I do walk, I do have mobility problems. I walk with a stick, and I do have severe back pain at times. It means that certain taxis I can't climb in and out of, like people carriers, and sometimes I find that they'll send a people carrier because it's the only car they have available at that particular time, and I haven't been able to climb into it, and they've had to go away, and I've had to wait for another taxi.
Taxis, which are like minibuses, they are hard to see the step, because when I'm getting off, I'm trying to find where to step off. Some taxis would have the pull-out step, or some wouldn't. And the only step would be when you get on, there's one step there and then this big step. I would be nervous about not seeing that step and falling, or I wouldn't be able to see that step very well and get nervous about not seeing it and tripping over it maybe.
My real difficulty is these cabs with the sliding doors, the 7-seater. I just cannot get in and out of them. The step is far too high, and I can't get the leg up high enough. So hence, the driver would phone his depot and ask him to send an ordinary cab. You know, so that is a big one for me. And I dare say it probably would be for a lot of older people who have trouble getting up high steps.
Because what maybe suits one disabled customer is not necessarily going to suit another, so it's about focusing on the individual and what suits their particular needs.
The taxi that I use, you tend to find that one will actually have a ramp that is accessible. The train track ramps are horrendous, so I like the flat ramp. That way I'm safe on it. Plus the fact the taxi driver has to know the gradient, because some of them pull up and the ramps are too steep, and literally I either fall into the taxi driver's arms, which can be nice, but it is dangerous. And they actually give me time to turn around in the taxi to know what way they like me facing. I like facing forward, but some taxi drivers like you facing out the side because of their straps. I am actually strapped in to my wheelchair strapped onto the taxi itself, and then I get a seat belt put round me that attaches me to the taxi as well. And I like being so secure, so that if it's going round a corner very sharply, I do not move. My chair does not move.
Probably less time to put a wheelchair in the back of the boot than it takes to put in 5 or 6 bags of groceries or 10 bags of groceries, depending on what's been purchased on the day.
Visually impaired people have different eye conditions which are affected by lights, different lights. For example, coming from outside where there's maybe bright light into a dimly lit taxi can cause great discomfort and disorientation. It's very important for the taxi driver to ask if the person needs a description of where he's going to be sitting, and will help describe what is happening and where the gear lever is, etc., etc. And it's all about communication with that person.
I mean, it's as simple as a driver being able to sort of, if we're walking along a footpath to the door or to a cash machine, it's the driver being able to realise, okay, there's a lamppost ahead of us, I need to warn him about that. There's a set of steps, there's a car door that's open and jutting out in front of us, I need to go left or right just to avoid that. I mean, it's having the knowledge and the confidence to be able to say that to me, to any other customer. Even as simple as showing me to the car door. I mean, car doors are the most dangerous things ever if you can't see, because the corner of a car door can do a lot of damage to the face area. So a driver, in my opinion, has to know to show me where the door is so I can put my hand on it. And from that point on, I know how to get myself into the car. But if I don't know, That's how I can maybe bang my head, bang my face, or some other incidents can cause a lot of, well, upset and upheaval for both me as a customer and, of course, the driver himself.
For me, I'm a bit spoilt for choice because I usually used one taxi firm, and I would say just someone who got me to where I needed. Got me to where I needed to go, and assisted me out of the taxi and made sure I was in the building, which turned out not to be so easily because the building that I had to go to turned out to have steps, and I was supposed to be there to assess the building, which was handy because I couldn't even get into it.
Many disabled people face problems carrying out everyday activities like going to shops, the cinema, paying bills or using the bank or post office because services haven't been provided in an accessible way. Busy traffic and unsafe pavements mean that getting out and about can be really difficult. Uneven access to buildings, inaccessible medical equipment, poor signage, narrow doorways, internal steps, inadequate bathroom facilities and inaccessible parking areas create barriers to the use of many facilities.